Hey Carlos, welcome to the GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine is nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you, and the club works out to the ball. So achieving some pretty decent posture in association with good balance there at address. Let's go ahead and take a look at your alignment. We can see your feet just slightly closed here. We carry that out towards the intended target. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So with that being the scenario, we can see that you're basically set up to hit the golf ball sort of right into the corner there of the edge of the water. Obviously the center of the fairway is sort of back over here, so we may see some form of compensation where we're obviously trying to get the ball back over in that direction. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. Now we've got some color coded lines on the screen just to use as visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Jordan Spieth, as he initiates his takeaway, creates good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the golf club. And we see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. From here, we're going to start to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from below to now being above our hands, and working the club from red up to the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm of the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or situated on blue, as we can see with Jordan Spieth. At the top of the swing, we also want to have created full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right side while maintaining our posture. We can see with you as you initiate your takeaway here, you draw your hands and arms back really nicely. You do have a tendency of pushing your hands and arms a little bit out away from you to the outside, so we can see the hands and the club shaft moving out to the right of the red line. As we continue to move back here, we want to see continued turn. We got to start to see some wrist hinge occur, and you're definitely going to have to shallow this club out and your arms out, otherwise you're going to get set too steep. So you get good wrist hinge into play. I like this frame because basically you're dropping the club head way back inside, starting to recover, and let's see if we do shallow out those arms. You're definitely shallowing out the club shaft, but it looks like the arms are still working back pretty steep, and they are. So when you finally get set at the top of your backswing, unfortunately you do get set a little steep. You got a little excess run on with the golf club, whereby the club head gets swinging way past parallel, and we can see it reappearing past your body there. At this point in time, I don't mind the golf club swinging past parallel, but we do need to get that left arm more shallow, at least down onto the blue, if not down onto yellow, because what's going to happen from here is you're very likely going to come into the ball too steep because you set the club too steep, and you're going to therefore attack the ball a little bit from outside to inside. Your turn's good, stability on the right side's good, just obviously a little bit of a breakdown in the arms and the golf club. As we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left foot, fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind the core and fire the hands. And in doing so, we got to bring the golf club from the blue-yellow V zone back down on top of red, which is exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth and the golf club returning back to plane. At this point in time, we also want to pay attention to the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as a backwards check mark. Simply means the club head's remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone his ability to hit the ball straight, again due to the fact that the club had returned back to plane. Let's go ahead and watch your transition back into the ball. You got a lot of rerouting to do to get this club back to the blue-yellow V zone and then to red, and don't think it's going to happen, and it's not going to happen because your hands came over the top right here. They're shooting out away from blue and out in front, and obviously that's going to have an impact on where the club goes. So we can see the club head here very clearly. The club head is not working back to red, and as we continue to track that club head coming into the ball, very simply that club is going to fall out in front of you. You are fighting to try and keep the club head behind your hands, but you're just not going to win that battle due to the fact that you had quite a severe over-the-top move. So We can take a look at the descending transition into the ball, and we can look at how steep that club is approaching the golf ball from versus, again, what we saw with the left side of the screen where the club returned back to plane, and then obviously with the club moving into the golf ball directly from this red line. And as I stated, this is what allows us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So the three most important things we need in order to hit a ball straight: got to aim well, feet have to run parallel left of the target, club has to return back to plane in order to hit the ball in reference to that alignment, and then we have to square the club face up for that all to come together. In your case, we can see that the descending plane is quite different. That is influencing the path of the club. So at this point in time, we can go ahead and take a look at the path of the club. We can see with Jordan Spieth on the left, club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, and then the club moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is too much outside the ball, dropping down and across, so we can see that in the next sort of frame here as the club moves aggressively across the golf ball. So very simply put, if we square the club face up to that swing path, you will be able to pull the golf ball in that direction. Now what we need to understand is that is your compensating move. If we go back to address, I'd already stipulated that your feet were a little bit closed. That carries out to the fairway in this direction. Parallel lines on camera have an appearance of converging, and we had already stipulated that you were set up to hit sort of the corner of the water here. So therefore your compensating move in order to hit the center of the fairway or the blue flag is to try and pull the ball back to the left, and that's your out and along the red path trying to pull the ball in that direction. Now if the club face over releases, not only does the ball get pulled in that direction, but now we end up hitting a pull draw or pull hook, and the ball is just going to go too far left on you because the ball has too much right to left spin. If we leave the club face massively open, then what ends up happening is we sort of start the ball a little bit right of the red path, which is pretty incredible. That just goes to show you how open the face was, and then what that's going to do is it's going to impart a ton of left-to-right spin, and we're going to hit a massive slice. If we happen to have the ability to sort of time this okay, then the ball travels down red, and we'll likely just have a little soft butter cut on it, and nothing's going to hurt, and it's going to stay right directly at that blue flag. So the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. When that golf club is moving from the outside, striking the ball, and moving to the inside, if we square the face up, it follows the red arrow. Over release the club, it follows the smaller red arrows. Leave it wide open, it follows yellow, and if we time it perfectly, it'll follow blue, and it will find your intended target. What I want to pay attention to now through impact is how did you do with your footwork. Your right heel's coming off the ground, you're getting up on the toe of the right foot, displacing the weight on the left side. You're rotating through, getting through to a really, really good finish. Looks superb. Overall, you've got some really nice athleticism in your golf swing. I mean, your hands work really well. You draw your hands back, you fire them through. Your core works well. You coil back, you uncoil through. You've got great footwork that allows you to get through to a good finish. So really when it comes down to it, we're set up with our alignment a little right. Subconscious brain basically says, hey, when I get to the top here, I now need to come over the top, swing the club from out and try and pull the ball back to the left. And if the timing of the club face is on, you will find the intended target. Problem is, over releases goes way too far left. Under releases goes way too far right. And at the end of the day, this does require way too much timing on your part to achieve that. Okay? So again, we can definitely see that over the top, out to in move, and then obviously having to compensate with that face. Anyways, at any point in time, if you want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, certainly feel free to touch base. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, certainly feel free to contact me. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and I hope you had a great day. Take care.